They say blood remembers everything, every cut, every scream, every whisper that ever touched it. But what if memory isn't all it keeps? What if something inside that blood, something alive, is waiting to be remembered back? In Gen V's crumbling universe, Moreau's story was never about power. It was about inheritance. Not the kind of inheritance passed down through names or money, but through experiments, lies, and a madman's echo that refuses to stay buried. The ghost of Thomas Godolkin. Thomas Godolkin was supposed to be gone. The man whose name built an empire of youth, intelligence, and control, the founder of Godolkin University, was reported dead decades ago. His work, his legacy, all folded neatly into Vought's myth-making machine. But legends rot slowly, and the man behind the myth never really vanished. He just changed shape. Because what if Thomas Godolkin never wanted to teach? What if his school was never a school at all? Every lecture, every experiment, every student was a trial, searching for one result: the perfect psychic vessel. A mind strong enough to host another. When we first met Marie, her powers looked like a curse, blood that moved on command, arteries that obeyed her will. But what Gen V Season 2 slowly reveals, especially through the eerie silences and the flickers of unseen whispers during her bloodbending, is that it wasn't just her will driving it. Her powers don't always respond to thought. Sometimes they anticipate. They act before she moves, before she decides, like something inside her already knows what must happen. And that's the problem. Maybe it does. Thomas Godolkin's psychic experiments were shut down for a reason. According to hidden records buried under Vought's Project Odessa, he'd been working on an advanced form of compound V that would fuse consciousness, a way to imprint human memory, even entire personalities, onto organic matter. He wasn't creating supers, he was building hosts. The haunting echo. Marie was one of the last to receive that formula, a blend of blood activation and psychic encoding designed to preserve a human mind through genetic lineage. So when Thomas Godolkin died, part of him didn't. It sank into the bloodstream of his final experiment. Marie wasn't just made by Godolkin's formula, she is his formula. Every drop of her power pulses with residual consciousness, the psychic signature of a man who believed gods should be eternal, even if they had to live inside their own creations. And the signs were there all along. In Season 2, Episode 3, when her blood lashes out mid-conversation, carving symbols she can't recognize, those weren't random. In Episode 5, when she hears voices calling her name during training, it wasn't madness. And in Episode 7, when Cypher mutters, "He's in you, isn't he?" It wasn't a metaphor, it was confirmation. Marie's evolution isn't just about mastering her powers. It's about surviving possession by the mind that made them possible. Cypher was the first to notice. His telepathic scans of Marie's mind kept running into static interference that didn't feel like her thoughts. It was deeper, older. A secondary pattern woven beneath her consciousness, whispering through the electrical hum of her neurons. When Cypher tried to trace it, he didn't find memories. He found a voice. It called itself the Founder. And it spoke in phrases that didn't belong to her time. Old lab codes, research notes, and fragments of long-buried theories about neural symbiosis. That was Thomas Godolkin, bleeding through her mind like a parasite that learned to hide. Cypher described it later as a mind caught between dying and living, like Godolkin uploaded his soul into a bloodstream and forgot how to delete it. The parasite awakens. As the season progresses, Marie starts losing time. Hours vanish. Conversations blur. Her blood acts without permission, stopping hearts, opening doors, even sketching messages in walls she swears she didn't touch. And then she dreams. In those dreams, she's in a lab. White lights, cold metal. A voice saying, "You're my proof, Marie." When she wakes, her nose bleeds and the air hums like static. Godolkin's echo isn't sleeping anymore. It's learning, rebuilding itself through her body, neuron by neuron, vessel by vessel, rewriting the code Vought once burned. Her powers are no longer just blood manipulation, they're neurological mimicry. She's becoming a conduit, a living neural bridge between the dead scientist and the world he wanted to reshape. The conflict Marie has two choices. Let the echo take over and risk losing herself completely, or destroy the blood that gives her power, and with it, destroy her own existence. But how do you kill something that's literally part of you? That's the tragedy Gen V builds toward. The idea that Marie's gift, her very essence, is contaminated with the remnants of the man who viewed her as his proof of godhood. Cypher tries to separate her from the echo, using psychic dampeners, memory loops, and even astral projection sequences to isolate her consciousness. But all it does is wake Godolkin fully. He speaks through her blood, through Cypher's machines, and through the voice modulations in his own scanners. You can't erase the architect without tearing down the house. Marie realizes the truth. She's not just fighting her maker, she's fighting the foundation of her own mind. The psychic showdown in Episode 8's predicted finale, Marie faces her blood, literally. The red mist that forms around her isn't just a weapon now, it takes shape, his shape. Thomas Godolkin, or what's left of him, manifests as a being made entirely of psychic energy and blood memory, a ghost sculpted from her veins. He doesn't want to kill her. He wants to merge, to finish what he started. Their battle isn't fought with punches, but with thoughts, memories, and guilt. Every moment she resists, he shows her flashes of her childhood, not as she remembers it, but as he engineered it. The lab, the testing. The scientists are calling her Prototype Alpha. He forces her to question if any of her choices have ever been her own. It's not a fight for survival, it's a fight for identity. The haunting resolution. In the end, Marie finds the only weapon that works: acceptance. She realizes she can't destroy what's inside her, only contain it. Her blood responds to emotion, not logic, so she lets herself feel the rage, the grief, the betrayal. And for a brief, blinding moment, her power turns inward, trapping the psychic echo in a mental prison of its own making. Godolkin's form collapses, whispering, "You'll never be free. You were my beginning." Marie answers, "Then I'll be my own ending." The lab dissolves, the static fades, but as she wakes, Cypher looks at her differently, not relieved, but cautious, because deep down, he still hears a faint hum inside her mind. Like a machine still running in the dark. Epilogue. The blood still remembers. They bury the last of Godolkin's research beneath the school ruins. Project Odessa is wiped. Its data is supposedly lost. Marie is left with silence, or what feels like silence. But late at night, when she's alone, the lights flicker. Her reflection ripples, and a faint whisper hums under her pulse. Ready for the next lesson? Because blood remembers everything, and sometimes it remembers too well.
We're trying to stop the man who's been holding you, hurting you. If I heal you, can you help?